Hello everybody and welcome back to Newegg TV. I'm Steve and today I'm going to do an overview on this tax return software from Intuit. This is the Turbo Tax Deluxe Federal and State Edition. Two things are certain in life: death and taxes. Intuit can help you with the taxes. They have 5 different levels of software, each one adding additional features to the lesser version. Basic provides step-by-step guidance, including 5 federal e-files updated with 2013's tax-related laws and free product support via phone or live chat. The deluxe versions search over 350 deductions and credits to maximize your refund. Intuit includes 1 state product download with the deluxe federal e-file and state 2013 version. You can print your state return for free with both deluxe versions or e-file for $19.99 per return. Premier adds a state product download in addition to investments and rental property tax deduction support. The final tier of TurboTax is Home and Business version, which adds tax options for Schedule C businesses. This overview, however, is primarily centered on the deluxe federal and state returns version. Intuit includes a maximum refund guarantee, which states if you get a larger refund or smaller tax due from another tax preparation method, TurboTax will refund the applicable TurboTax federal and/or state purchase price paid. If you're a student, it can help you find education tax credits and deductions for tuition, books, and student loan interest. Extra guidance is offered for homeowners because bigger purchases can sometimes mean big deductions. Things like mortgage interest, property taxes, refinance fees, points, and improvements to your home's energy efficiency. If you donate to charities, you might as well get the maximum tax deduction. The built-in It's Deductible tool helps you accurately value items you donate to charity. Also, it will help you for deductions for big life changes, like for instance if you changed jobs, got married, bought a home, or had a baby. The Track Your Audit Risk meter checks your tax return for common audit triggers and shows whether your risk is high or low. Then it provides tips to help you reduce your chance of a tax audit. That being said, let's go through a quick demo of the software. Alright, so what I've done so far is actually install TurboTax Deluxe. And I'm just going to run you through a little bit of the UI as well as an example of some of the questions that you're going to need to answer in order to maximize that return for 2013. So let's go ahead and start here. Actually, you can see there's already one tax return that's been started, but we're going to start a new one and go through the process with you. At this particular point, you can actually browse to find other prior year's tax returns, and they actually support, of course, TurboTax.tax 2012 files, as well as H&R Block at home.t12 files, as well as TaxAct.ta2 files. We're going to continue without transferring and just start from scratch and go through some of those questions. So at this particular point, I'm just going to rush through it because I want you to see what it is, but I don't really have to say every single thing that's actually being typed in. All right, and at this particular point, we're going to start entering in that information from the W-2. And it's fairly simple. If you've had to do any of your own taxes in the past, you're really just following along the boxes here, lined up exactly as the way they are and numbered the same way as they are in the W-2. And they're just double checking to see if any of these questions apply to the W-2 and reviewing the information. This is where you'd actually enter in the income you have from another job. So since I only have one W-2, I'm sticking with that. No foreign banks, no foreign trusts. Of course, if you're a homeowner, you could start entering in stuff from a Form 1098 for your mortgage interest, as well as refinancing your home or property taxes, as well as your mortgage insurance, or if you've done anything that's energy efficient home improvements for your household. Say no to that, but although you could go through those and get an additional credit, resulting in a higher refund. Same being if you were to have a child here, or an earned income credit, an adoption credit, or a child tax credit. And if you made any donations, including clothes or other items, money, stocks, or mileage and travel expenses. Cars, everybody's got a car, right? Or just about everyone. If you have car registration fees, or if you have an energy efficient vehicle, including the charging stations themselves, property taxes for RVs, boats, or planes might actually get you a larger refund. Educational expenses, tuition and expenses from a 1098-T, as well as scholarships, financial aid, and student loan interest or tuition deduction and credits related to an education. Very helpful if you're a student, of course. Medical expenses, if you had anything big that happened in 2013 that you had to pay for, that's going to be helpful to use here. And your retirement and investments, traditional and Roth IRAs, retirement savings and contribution credits, or other investment expenses, including safety deposit boxes, so those do cost money. And any employment expenses, particularly if you're a teacher, you get educator expenses, or job-related expenses, or job search expenses if you were unemployed or looking for a job in 2013. Other deductions might include your tax preparation fees or moving expenses, casualties and thefts, as well as alimony that you paid. That would also include if you bought tax return software in 2013. And it's just checking to make sure my deductions and credits are accurate. Analysis is complete, so we're going to skip ahead. Do I have health insurance? I'm going to say no. And that should be good. Checking to see if I'm a homeowner. Let's just say we are, so those homeowners out there can see some other things. If you pay property taxes, you would have had to. Say yes. Let's say you paid $60,000. And you didn't get the home buyer credit. And if you did donate to charity, of course, you'd have cash check or credit card donations would be included as well. And it's just double checking everything to make sure it's all copacetic and what I initially said. And they're actually recommending that I do a federal itemized deduction. I'm actually not going to do that for the sake of this video. So we're just going to stick to the standard. It's just double checking all the info, and it's ready for a federal review. It's also, at this particular point, going to look for updates. At this point, it's actually already been updated to the newest version, but if it didn't, it would be able to let me know that. Now, right off the bat, it's going to tell me the Social Security number is not correct. Bravo, Turbo Tax. That's a fake Social Security number, so it did catch that. And I'm just going to say done. So now we can work on that state return. We're going to go with Utah and go ahead and start that. Of course, if you lived in more than one state and worked for income in more than one state, you'd want to download more than one. We're going to go ahead and use that free state download now. A bit of information to take a look at if you were currently living in Utah. Of course, it'd be different depending on the state. And if you made any out-of-state purchases, things like internet catalog and mail order purchases. And I do not wish to donate to a Utah special fund, although you might be kinder hearted than me and want to do that. And you can always extend your return should you need to. Just double checking something here. It looked at this particular EIN for the employees. Well, actually, that is not the EIN, is it? That is just a double check to make sure the employer's state ID number is in fact correct, because they're not seeing a record of it. And that's good also because it is in fact false. It's made up. So we're going to go ahead and hit continue, which it will not let me do at this particular point. So I'm just going to assume after this that the software is going to be right, and it will continue to review it. But at this particular point, you'd actually have to pay $500 in taxes. That's clearly because we didn't pay enough state taxes during the year, and based on the other questions that it asked me, since I said no to all the other possible deductions, you might be able to say yes to that. So after it's all said and done, you can finally print and save for your records, as well as file for the return, allowing you to print it and mail it in for free if you like, or you can do it via e-file and check for the status right here. All right, guys, that's going to wrap up this overview of Intuit's Turbo Tax software. And if you liked what you saw today, don't forget to click the like button. And if you haven't already done so, subscribe to any of our various YouTube channels, and we'll see you soon.